Hey guys, this is Brittney Hazelton, and this is ArkLaTex Artistry, where we explore the arts in our area. So, first, you know, we got a cool conversation today that we're going to talk about, specifically with a creative technologist and DJ, longtime DJ in our area. He says he's been DJing for in Shreveport, I believe, since early '90s. So quite a long time. He was involved in the punk music scene uh, back uh, in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then he got into techno and the rave and electronic music scene at that time. And then he came here when he joined the Air Force. He ended up here, Shreveport, where he stayed and has worked in the nightlife business pretty much all his life and learned to DJ so he could be really good at his job. So we're going to go ahead and, uh, before we do that, go ahead and talk about some of these upcoming events. And then, like we usually do, and then we'll proceed to that interview. All right. So, first, let's see. First, let me check a few things. Okay, good. Sounds good. I've been checking sound a little more because sometimes if you don't start the computer, the sound is weird. It's weird. But anyways, we're here now. Okay, so the Downtown Art Experience is being hosted by Karen LeBeau, who's the artist, basically the artist ambassador from Shreveport Regional Arts Council, who is an artist herself. Um, there's a new downtown art experience is gonna feature a lot of like some new businesses that are downtown that I didn't even know about, and a lot of artists, both visual, musical, poets, and just literary. So first, they're gonna have it's a self-guided tour, from what I understand. It's gonna go on from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on April 23rd. Some of the locations: High Gravity Glassworks by Michelle Pennington's. That's her studio. It is a glass blowing studio. Definitely suggest checking that out if you get the chance to get around that way. Um, she's going to be doing a glass blowing demo at 6 p.m., so you don't want to miss that. You Need a Artist Lofts. That's 711 Malm Street. There's going to be Wet Paint Arts, which is Whitney Tate's stuff. Cece does poetry. Karen LeBeau's going to be there. Joe Bean Creative is going to be there. Rico Guerrero items will be available from the stylist T. Latin, who's going to be selling those products. A bass player named Danielle will also be performing from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. there. Jarek Thomas, who is is a fellow podcaster. He covers art. He's also a literary artist. So I definitely would suggest checking him out if you get the chance. There's a new store, also part of this downtown art experience, that I didn't know existed. Vine Books and Vinyl is at 620 Texas Street, Suite 100. So it's a space for books and music. So they sell vinyl and books. So it's definitely something to look at. They're going to be giving a tour of the store, and there's going to be Phyla Sophie is going to be sharing her poems from her new published book. will also be doing some poetry, it seems. Fabric artist Charmel will also be there. Um, Photographer Ron Brown will also have his work available at that location. Crockett Street Trading Company is going to be hosted. Is going to have some prints, and they also carry art from local artists and craft goods. So it's a good place to go get a gift. They're going to have a register to win a gift basket valued at $50 there as well. And additionally, the Agora Borealis, it's Katie Larson's store, amazing art store, local arts and crafts store. Um, they also have a gallery and a marketplace. And there's going to be a saxophonist, De Lontrell. Is going to be playing saxophone to soothe your soul from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So it's going to be a whole day of events, guys. I would highly suggest checking that out. You can find it on Facebook, the Downtown Art Experience, if you want the full list. Or you could check KSLA. If you look up the Downtown Art Experience KSLA, you'll probably find the article I've already written for it with with all the details and links to all these. Additionally, Savior Fair. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm bad at speaking sometimes. 67. This is a literary and visual arts at Bossier Parish Community College. This is the art reception and the awards announcement. So this is a good time to go check out some of the upcoming emerging artists, the young artists that are getting through their college years and are about to get into the world as artists. So yeah, it's gonna be a student art and literature exhibition with a juried showcase. So it's gonna be multiple creative disciplines, including photography, graphic design, drawing, painting, ceramics, short stories, and poetry. So that sounds like a great experience. And all these artists are featured and writers will be honored with publications in BPC Savior Fair magazine. And we will receive cash prizes. So that's going to be at the Donna Service Art Gallery. That's in Building A on the first floor at the Bossier Parish Community College campus. That's 6220 East Texas Street in Bossier City. So if you haven't been out, go check it out. Let's see. So the American Rose Center is holding its 50th anniversary spring bloom celebration. They've been around for a long time, and gardening and flowers and nature, that's art. The organization's been around so long. They've even developed a rose at that center, specifically for Shreveport. It's the Shreveport rose. It's the orange, and it has like a fade into like a reddish color in the center of it, like a pinkish reddish color in the center of it. It's a very pretty rose. If you haven't looked up, Google it, the Shreveport rose. So that's going to happen April 26th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if you don't know where the American Center is, it's 8877 Jefferson Page Road in Shreveport. So the Highland Jazz and Blues Festival are holding their announcement party. They're probably going to be announcing their poster and some of the things like that at this party. They hold it every year, and this year they're holding it at Noble Savage, Shreveport. So if you want to go hear about what they have to announce about their poster design and everything, go check them out. April 30th, 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. It's a nice time to network, meet others, and get to see what's coming up at the Highland Jazz and Blues Festival. All right. So, Artini on the One has made a pretty big announcement recently. The Artini event is, of course, June 14th, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. This is Bossier Arts Council's big fundraising gala event. You definitely want to get your tickets now. I think they're having a sale, and you're not only going to get them that cheap now. Otherwise, they're $90, but you can get them for like $75 instead. It's a huge party and it's well worth it. You get to sample all these different martinis from different vendors across Shreveport Bossier, and these vendors are competing to find out which one has the best martini like recipe, what tastes the best, and you get to vote to determine that. And then they hold big announcements. They usually have really good music happening, bands and DJs. Just great environment. Everything's decorated. It's fun. This time they're holding it at a live casino hotel, Louisiana. So that's in Bossier, of course, since it is Bossier Arts Council. And yeah, so check that out, guys. Make sure you follow that. They announced that a well-known muralist and realist artist, Eric Francis, is the featured artist this year. They always feature an artist that is kind of matches the theme of the event, and this theme is monochrome and kind of like musical jazzy. So all one color outfits with kind of a like jazzy vibe to go with it. So definitely check that out. Eric Francis has been part of our community for a bit now. He's done amazing murals across our state in various areas. He's an amazing artist. I would definitely like. Here's one of his murals right here. He does great realism, and he has vivid, bright colors that really are amazing. Look how much emotion and beauty he puts into his work. Like, seriously, great stuff. Eric Francis is going to be there. So you get to meet him and buy some of his work if you're wanting to buy some of his work while you're there. All right, guys, so definitely check out that article. So today's conversation is about strange music for nice people, third installment. DJ Lomax is here to talk to me about it. It's him and Wonka Bass, who are previous people that we've interviewed about other shows that they've performed, because they build unique sound systems that play at a bass level that you can't get anywhere else in Shreveport. And they team up to do strange music for nice people, which is an audio-visual experience. And you get to learn more about that. And Lomax, the Gray, is what he goes by on Facebook, so make sure you follow him. He's a really interesting person. He created all the visual effects for this specific event in Unreal Engine, which is a game development engine. So it's some really cool looking stuff, guys. Definitely you're going to want to check this event out if you love electronic music, or if you just want to try electronic music out and you've never heard it before, go give it a try. All right, guys. Let's see. Let me get everything set up for you guys, and we will play that video for you guys. I enjoyed this conversation. Lomax is an interesting person, and I've seen him perform way back in, it's like 2000, maybe 17, 16, something like that. It was the first time I saw him perform. All right. Well, you guys enjoy this interview, and at some point I'm going to pause, and we're going to go into a commercial break, and then we'll come right back. So just bear with me when we get to that point. All right, guys. Hello, I'm Brittney Hazelton, and this is ArkLaTex Artistry, where we explore the arts in our area. Today's guest is a longtime DJ in our area, creating unique music and a sound and visual experiences. He's here to talk about a series of music that's been experiences that have been held at Bears. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm John Lomax. I'm a creative technologist working here in Shreveport. Long-term fan of electronic music since before people knew about electronic music, probably. First electronic album I listened to was Switched on Bach when I was a kid, Wendy Carlos. So that kind of put me in the direction of listening to electronic music. And then I was involved in the punk rock scene for a long time back in North Carolina. I'm originally from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
And discovered the underground dance music, rave scene in the late 80s, early 90s, and never looked back. It's my
So,
people, it's my tribe.
first, I just want to start with what brought you here to Shreveport?
Air Force.
The Air Force.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Now, I proudly served in the 20th Bomb Squadron, 8th Air Force.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for your service.
Oh, you don't have to thank me. It was awesome. I enjoyed it.
So first, let's start by talking about the upcoming event. What is it and when is it?
Okay, so Strange Music for Nice People is basically a community event for people that enjoy electronic music, mostly house and techno, and that's kind of where we concentrate. So you'll hear kind of the broad range of house and techno music played there. It's myself and a guy called Randall and Kate Alex. So it's fun.
So that's the Wonka Bass guy.
Yeah. He's the one that turned me on to you and got us together.
Oh.
Yeah, his other side of life is as a techno DJ, and he's one of my favorite DJs in town. And we just we click really well together, and we like to play together, and it's a fun time, you know.
That's great. It's great to see, like people unifying and creating community.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what the scene here has always been. I mean, Shreveport is a relatively small city.
Yeah.
So you take small and then you make it smaller by making it an underground scene.
Yeah.
So all of the underground scenes here, be it rock or electronic stuff, has always been tight knit, family oriented.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who we are. It's a chosen family of people that like loud, dark rooms.
I can say that I was a lot into metal when I was younger. I used to be like one of those kids that went to Soundstage.
Yeah, it's a great venue. I wish we had a venue that was for kids that aren't 21. It's really been a huge drain on the music scene here, not having a place for young artists to play or go see bands.
Something me and Casey Jones talked about once was we talked about how like a lot of those people that were the kids that were in that scene became artists later, and now we're seeing a big gap where like these kids aren't getting influenced into the art scenes for music because there's no place like that for them to be.
A lot of the draw is you want the popularity part of it, the being in the scene and being a part of something, and if they don't see that that's possible, they're never going to pick up that guitar the first time. They're never going to pick up a keyboard for the first time.
That, and if they don't get exposed to it, they don't get that influence. They don't see people doing it and think, I want to do that.
Yeah, I want to do that. I want to be on stage.
So from what I understand, you do techno music, and I love techno. My friend was the one that introduced me to techno music when I was just like in high school, sophomore, not even sophomore, I think. Yeah, but I think it was a sophomore or freshman when he first introduced me, and I was really into industrial music.
Oh yeah.
So we just traded in our music tastes together.
Industrial and techno are very close. I'm a huge fan of industrial music. Huge fan. Like I said, I came through the punk rock scene, so the Chicago industrial scene was very influential.
I bet.
And like the new beat scene out of the Netherlands was really big, and then that just morphed into the house and techno scene here in the U.S. And it's just a huge part of who I am. It's been very, very good to me.
Yeah, so something I wanted to ask you, like, what got you started though? Like, from the moment you decided that you wanted to do DJing, how did that occur?
The DJing part kind of came by necessity. I've always enjoyed the event promotion side of things.
Yeah.
And always have been involved with nightlife and entertainment, working in nightclubs and being a part of that business.
Yeah.
So learning how to DJ was kind of critical in making sure that I knew how to do that and how to hire DJs and how to manage DJs. and I love it. I love playing the music I like really loud, and nobody else can like mess with it, and I'm the one playing the music. That's great for me. I
Oh
love it.
yeah,
I
I
love
bet.
it. Because that's certainly what I do. I play music that I like really loud.
I know when I'm driving in my car and I have control of the
Yeah.
radio, nobody else does. I love that feeling. It's like
Yeah.
you have to listen to what I'm listening to.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I love sharing music. I love hearing new music. Um, I think a lot of DJs tend to play what people want to hear instead of what people need to hear,
Yeah,
and it's gotten to the point where everything kind of starts to sound the same.
yeah. Because
And
what's popular
yeah,
is just being played over and over again.
and that's really it. In my to me, the DJ thing is a more underground thing. You know,
Yeah.
we're it's our jobs to expose people to new sounds, and maybe you like it, maybe you don't.
It's
And
a
that's okay.
curation of
Yeah, exactly.
sound, right?
Exactly. It's curation. That's all it is. It's just like you were curating an art show. You don't want things that you want a vibe, a visual language, and that's what we do is create an environment both
An,
with the visuals and the lasers
an
and the
overall
sound,
experience.
an
To
experience.
be
It's
had.
a curated evening for people that like to dance or necessarily don't like dance, just like the music, or just like hanging out with people that are kind of like-minded.
So I understand you also make some of your music too
Yeah,
yourself.
I dabble in music production. It's a good way for me to like cleanse my palate off of other projects
Yeah.
or to just understand the latest sounds that are kind of coming out by producing it. It makes you a much better DJ.
Yeah, I
Once
can
you get some
imagine.
music theory under your belt and really start to understand how music is put together, especially
Yeah.
hyper genrealized stuff like techno and house, or you have to understand how it's built in order to deconstruct it, and that's
Yeah.
a lot of what
And to
DJs do.
put it like in a list together to
Yeah,
make the sound go well together. I'm
yeah,
sure
and,
the
and
curation
make
is
it
helped
work
by it.
harmonically, and
Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot to it, and that's what I enjoy about it. It's one of those things that I've been doing for a really long time that I know that I'll never master,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
I think
You
that's
know,
art in general,
Yeah, I mean, I've got well over 10,000 hours
You can be a
of
you
DJing.
can be declared as a master in something, but you're still
Yeah,
learning. So you never truly are,
yeah,
right?
no, I'll never master it. I'm going to try, and I don't think that it's something that I'll stop doing,
That's great.
you know.
I'm glad to hear that.
Well, if I was playing jazz guitar, nobody would even think twice about it.
I think that's just experimenting, and there's nothing wrong with experimenting as an artist if you did pick up a jazz guitar.
Oh
and
no,
have it,
I'm
right?
saying as far as the age thing,
Yeah.
a lot of that comes. A lot of people associate electronic music, dance culture, rave culture with younger people. Understandably,
Mm-hmm.
it's hugely influential right now. A lot of young people enjoy it, but there are people that have been into that music for
Oh
30
yeah.
plus years now.
It's not a
Yeah.
young. It's not a young art,
No,
though.
no,
It isn't.
no, not at all, not at all. I mean, if it does make me feel good that like kind of the top DJs in the world are in their 50s and 60s.
Oh
and,
yeah, they really
it's,
are.
and it's interesting. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Definitely. I love DJing. That's why I've been talking to you guys at Wonka Bass, and I'm glad we're here.
Those guys do cool stuff.
The first time I saw you perform was at Critical Mass during the performing
Oh yeah. So
some time ago.
yeah, that was a soundtrack that I had done. A guy had a potential movie that he was making,
Really.
and that was like a soundtrack to that movie.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, that was fun. That was kind of. I definitely don't do much live instrumental stuff. I am not a musician. I put music together in a box by looking at it, doing the math on like a calculator.
Hey, it's still an instrument.
Yeah, yeah.
It is.
But I am by no means a musician. I don't consider myself. I'm a craftsman, not an artist a lot of the time.
Well, I think that you're an artist for just curating the experiences themselves,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, my art is creating the TAZ, the temporary autonomous zone, you know, where things are different.
Yeah.
I want there to be places that are different. I think it's super important for us as social creatures to be kind of taken out of the construct that we're in all the time and placed in a zone that's unusual and
Yeah.
tests us to see if we're in the right space with the right people.
What is it like for you though on the stage performing in front of people? What is
It's
that moment
strange
like?
music. It's a little odd because generally there's a huge screen in front of us. So
Oh.
we're very separated from the crowd.
So you're kind of cut off.
Yeah, which I have no problems with. When I first got into the rave scene, it was unusual for the DJ to be center stage. And that's one of the things that attracted me to it is the decentralized nature of it. When I would walk into a rock show, everybody would be facing the same direction.
Yeah.
And when I first walked into like an underground dance event, everybody was facing each other.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
I can see that.
was transformational in my thinking of how these kind of, you know, concentrated occupancy events can be more social and
Yeah, because you're kind of curating the mood for their social
Yeah,
interactions
yeah.
between each other more
Yeah,
so.
a lot of it now is DJ in front of a giant video wall with their name on it, and 20-foot letters, throwing stuff at the crowd and talking on the mic and getting on top of the turntables and dancing, and all good, all good. For that particular type of scene where people are going to festivals and stuff like that, if that's what they're seeking, have fun with it. I
Yeah.
go to shows at Silo in Dallas, and it's that way. And I have a great time. But for these local events, we really wanted to turn that around and to put the emphasis back on the dance floor and on the people.
Oh, I love that. All right, guys. So here's that first commercial break that I was talking about. It's short, so don't stick around so we can finish up this video. Just bear with me. All right. I'll see you guys after the video's done.
That's why it's called Strange Music for Nice People. So see, it's all in the name. It's exactly what it is.
So tell me about some of the visuals you made for the show.
Also, this show is all done with Unreal Engine, which is a game development engine
Yeah.
that does real-time graphics. It's been a real learning process. That's what I use a
Yeah.
lot of this for, is to kind of learn new techniques and explore different ways of making concert visuals, different ways of creating kind of these video environments. So,
Oh, okay. So I know Unreal is. Would you say Unreal has a good like self-teaching? I know
Unreal
that
has a
there's.
great community. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, YouTube University is the most impressive thing out of this
Right.
entire, to have really, really high level experts that are for free giving you insight into their
Oh yeah.
workflow, tutorials on how to do any part of it.
You
It's
basically
really
can learn
amazing.
anything.
You can learn anything.
Yeah.
If you're out there and you want to learn something, go to YouTube.
Yeah, no,
and,
it's
and just
completely
try
true.
it.
And I know Unreal and some of these game engines, they do have great communities that
Oh, they're
are
fantastic
teaching people how to
communities.
make
Yeah.
how to make games, how to do
Yeah.
visuals, and it's a you don't even need to go to school for it if you really just want to sit down and
No.
learn it.
No, you don't. You don't.
It just takes dedication.
Yeah. I mean, now, if you're, sometimes I'll put 30, 40 hours a week into trying to learn a new piece of software, and then that could take 2 weeks, it could take 3 months. But at the end of it, you're going to have something that nobody can take away from you, which is a new skill.
That's true.
You know?
That's true, and you never know how you could utilize that skill in
Yeah,
other
I utilize-
future
I utilize-
projects.
Like I said,
know.
this scene and what I've had to do has allowed me to learn things that have led me to some pretty interesting places. To do things that are completely outside of electronic music, because I've learned the steps that it takes to do an event. I've learned the steps that it takes to create visuals. I learned lighting and sound, and those.
You're a multimedia artist,
Yeah, I'm
really.
a creative technologist. That's what I do now. That's how I don't work for anybody. I work for myself.
I really love that title, creative
And
technology.
it's a real thing. Yeah.
I love that. I really haven't ever thought about that title
Yeah.
before, but
I use technology to make art.
that's great. And it's a cool innovative, and the future is going to hold a lot of crazy technology, I'm sure.
It's gonna get nuts.
Yeah.
It's already getting pretty crazy. The whole transition to kind of real time virtual production has changed a lot of industries. The film industry, the concert industry it's just completely changed the way people do graphics now and
Yeah.
do iMac. It's really, really interesting. And gaming is unbelievable. I mean, it's way larger than film, television, and movies put together.
Yeah.
And the leaps that are being made in that community in fidelity and creativity and storytelling, when a lot of popular media is being pulled from the stories that were told by games, that's says a lot.
Well, I think people never gave games credit enough. Like, they just see, kids on a couch playing a game. They don't really realize that games come with in-depth story.
Yeah.
The experience of being a character in that story is equivalent to books, but
yeah.
it's a visual experience, not just a imagining experience.
Yeah, and also a problem-solving experience. When you, we'll get off on a game tangent if you let me, but when you become kind of one with the character and make decisions, and that affects a story arc, and that affects the world that you're in, some of the most intense emotional connections I've had with fictional characters have been through games.
Oh, yeah. I can say the same.
I mean, I've cried when characters have died.
Me too.
Felt real loss or real joy, when something happens, or a sense of accomplishment when you achieve something that you didn't think you could.
Oh, yeah, especially really challenging games like the Souls series. I'm a big Souls player.
Yeah, I cannot play those games.
Ooh.
They are brutally hard.
I know.
Brutally hard. The design is
I have played through all of them.
well, that is quite an
Oh,
accomplishment. They are
I've been
super, you know,
gaming for
super
a long
impressive.
time
Yeah.
myself,
Yeah,
and I've always
the hardcore action adventure games are
oh yeah.
a genre that I like to play for about 2 hours, and then I'm like, I can't do this. Yeah, they're brutal.
But the games that are just linear story based,
Yeah,
those are just great too.
yeah,
Open world when you can kind of find your own adventure and create your own
yeah,
story. Those are great as well.
yeah. And the competitive aspects for the esports aspects for kids that you know that that is that is their athletic talent. In people don't want
Hand-eye
to call them.
coordination's
Yeah.
hard.
Well, there's a reason you don't see 40-year-old professional gamers.
Yeah.
It just, there's these guys are at the tippy top of what they do.
Yeah.
Guys and gals. And the strategy gamers are amazing. So the competitive aspect, anything that brings people together, is good.
Yeah.
Anything that brings people together in a space where they can make or compete or
Be
have
social.
fun on
Yeah.
a level playing field, it can't be bad.
Yeah, I
You know?
completely agree.
And you hear people like, oh well, the kids used to be out, in the streets playing. Yeah, we did, but people don't let their kids out in the
No.
streets to play anymore.
Oh no,
If
I
you want your
remember
kids
when
out, just let 'em
Pokemon
go.
Go
Yeah.
came out, people were complaining that
Yeah.
people were out in the
In the
streets playing.
streets. I mean, if you want your kids to be out in the streets playing, put them out in the streets playing. But
Exactly.
people don't do that anymore. So these kids need a way to find connection.
Yeah, an outlet, and I think it brings up, creativity. There's learning involved. It actually helps cognitive
Yeah.
functions.
Well, I mean,
It's
the data's in. You know what I mean? If you look at the studies that have been done, there are addiction issues with certain types of games, but for the most part, someone who plays video games is a relatively well-adjusted person that probably has a better vocabulary and better
Yeah.
hand-eye coordination. It's just an extension,
It's
just
true.
like reading.
Yeah, it's very true. I think that people will figure it out eventually. I
Well,
think we will. They
I
have
think-
they kind of have to because
I
it's
think
not
the
going
fact
away.
That it's like the dominant media source on the planet by a lot.
Oh yeah.
By a lot. And if you're not aware that video games are larger than film, television, and music combined, then I don't know how to help you understand anymore that they are a huge part of
Yeah,
our
and
media
it's a
culture.
great creative industry for artists.
Oh, it's a massive
you know,
industry. It's a massive industry.
It is.
Not just for artists, but for coders and for people that are in marketing and monetization. There's a huge industry there that doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
I don't think it will.
Yeah.
People love the experience, and
It seems to be getting bigger to me.
Exactly. So, what? How would people go about following you and following these events?
You can always on Facebook, probably the Bears page or my music page, Lomax
Yeah.
the Gray.
Okay.
That's an easy way to find it. Look for the posters. Come to the one, it's coming up Saturday, and meet people, and they'll tell you about it. The best way to learn about it is to come and do it.
Exactly.
You know.
All right, I'll make sure to link all that
I
on
appreciate
the
that.
article that I'm writing for it. Is there anything else you would like to
No,
tell our viewers?
No, come out, give it a try. If you're nice and you like music, you got two of the parts of it already. So come on out.
All right, thank you so much, Lomax, for
It's
talking
been a
to
pleasure.
me. All right, guys, that was my interview with DJ Lomax, creative technologist, which is still to me an interesting title. And I like that he used Unreal Engine to create this. It's a interesting program, especially if you're someone that wants to learn game design. All right. Well, that's my interview for today. If you guys want, remember, you can, let's see, let me show you. You guys can follow me on Facebook if you look up Brittney Hazelton or just Sizica and find this profile. That's me. Go ahead and give me a follow. I always am posting unique art stuff. This is my personal art. And I also talk about, well, events, food, and more art. So definitely you can, here's me with my critical mass piece. But yeah, you can check out what I'm doing. I also sometimes post clips regarding ArkLaTex Artistry on here, and you can just reach out to me if you're interested. If you ever need to and you want to email me, just email me at Brittney.Hazelton at KSLA.com if you want to get covered, if you want to talk about your art, if you want to talk about our art organization or an event that you're hosting coming up. Give me a shout out. Send me an email. Send me some pictures. Send me some links so I can look over things and maybe get in contact with you about an interview. Also, guys, remember, like, follow, and share any artist's work that you support. You know, you want those artists to feel like they're being seen because, you know, an artist that is in the public is trying to show their work. You know, it's a big motivation just to have a few comments and have someone share their work. And in other ways of support, you can always buy it. If you can afford one of their original pieces, there's nothing better than having original art piece on your wall. You know, something with real texture and a lot of soul in it. All right, guys. Find more of my articles and videos on KSLA.com under the hamburger menu. Go to the podcast section in ArkLaTex Artistry. You'll find both my videos and my full articles, and I would check out those articles too. Even if you've seen some of the videos, the articles have extra pictures and links, things that help you get connected to the arts in our area. Additionally, you can find more of these videos on the Roku, Apple apps, the Android apps, and YouTube. There's an entire playlist if you just want to sit down and watch videos. There's an entire ArkLaTex Artistry playlist on YouTube. All right, guys. Thank you again. I'll have a recap of this Wednesday at 11, and then I will have a new episode for you Saturday at noon. So I'll see you guys then.